All right, let's try this again. This is my first stream, so bear with me here, guys. Bear with me. Let's give it another shot. We got the chat this time. Let's go, chat. Let's go, chat. We're running it up. Let's go, chat. We got no one in here. Come on, man. Give me some viewers, man. Where is my chat at? All right, let's put it on. Put it on here. Hey, we got our first viewer. Let's go. I'm not talking to myself. Hey, what's going on? From Alabama, from East Texas. Let's go. Fire up the chat. Fire up the chat. We're celebrating. We just did 30 videos in a row. This is the celebration live. What's up, Carlos from Nashville? Man, I don't even have to tell you guys. You're already putting your locations in. I love it. Let's go, chat. How we doing? How we doing? All right, I'm posting this on my Instagram. Maybe we can get a lot more people in here. Going live on YouTube now for first time ever. All right. Fire up the chat. We are live. Yo, thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it. This is my first live ever. Don't really know what I'm doing here, but I'm excited. And thank you for joining. Thank you for joining along the journey. We just did a crazy run, 30 days nonstop of credit videos, as some of you know, right? Just educated you guys. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. We had some crazy stuff happening. There was people literally following my videos, exact directions, and just from the free content I put out, they were getting approved for $35,000 at 0% on a single card. One dude got $100,000 in business credit just following the free credit guide that I put out. That was pretty crazy. A lot of people said in the comments that they got some free flights, that they use seats.aero to book some travel for their family. It's really crazy. Like, you can change your life in 30 days, guys. Like, for anyone, just in inspiration purposes, I didn't really have anything going on in the credit world for a pretty decent amount of time before I started this YouTube channel. I had kind of went down other business ventures, and I still own these other businesses, but I wanted to tap back in. I got really inspired, and I knew that the world needed this knowledge and that there wasn't many people giving it out in the way that I thought it should be given out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just come on here. I'm going to make easy to understand videos. I got a little Miro board. I just literally film with my MacBook computer. And, sometimes I had my mic, sometimes I was on my laptop, but you literally press record and you just educate, just help people for free, and amazing things will happen. So it's been 30 days now. Thank you for the 10 of you guys who showed up. And what a blessing. Thank God, for being able to provide impact and truly help people. It's been a really cool journey. It's been great reading all the comments. Of course, we got some hate, but what's a video without hate? Haters make you famous. And the haters also help spread the videos because the engagement went crazy. So super cool. Guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. And obviously I want to provide some value. So grab a coffee, sit down, relax, ask me some questions in the chat. And I'm here for the next, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Maybe 30, 40 minutes. We can talk about, obviously, 0% business credit. I know there's a lot of international people that have a bunch of questions, if you guys can actually get some of this info. So I'm going to just start going down the chat right now. Appreciate you guys showing up. If you're hopping in, let me know where you're from. I see we got Alabama in the house, East Texas, Nashville. Okay, awesome. Cool. Let me answer some of these questions. So Darren asked, what's the best way to make money? Darren, I would say right now, the best way to make money in 2025 is with a personal brand. You just need to learn some kind of specialized knowledge. Okay. Obtain specialized knowledge, whether that be through YouTube, reading books, or just going out in the world and trying stuff and failing. Right. That's pretty much how I've learned everything so far in my life. I'm 20. I just turned 29. about 2 weeks ago. I started entrepreneurship at 23 years old. And at that point, I was 50 grand in debt. Okay. I was working a 9 to 5 job. I had no specialized knowledge whatsoever. Yes, I had a degree, but I cheated my way through college. I wasn't a good student. I had no special attributes about me. I was sociable. I loved to party. I was a personable guy. I could get along well in conversations, and I was an extrovert. So I naturally went into sales. And after selling for a corporate company for 1 year, getting paid $39,000 a year, which came out to, like, after taxes, 2 to 3K a month, I was like, screw this. Why am I selling products I don't believe in? I'm making someone else money. I'm getting shit commissions. Why don't I just go out and try to do something on my own? And at least if I fail, I can always get another job. Okay. So you can always get another job. So if any of you guys are like freaking out right now and you're not motivated at your work, just know that everyone's always hiring. There's always a way to get another job. You can go work at a restaurant. You could go work, in construction. There's so many opportunities out there if you need to go back and trade your time for money. So just take the risk and go learn something special. Ideally, you learn something that you're passionate about. For me, credit was the gateway to traveling more. And at 23 years old, I was obsessed with travel. I wanted to go see the world. I had went to University of Arizona, and during that time, I was blessed enough to have friends that lived in California. I went to Coachella. I got to study abroad in college in Barcelona, and seeing that part of the world, coming from a small town of New Jersey, that really inspired me, and I wanted more. I wanted to access it, but I didn't have my parents' money. My parents aren't rich. They weren't going to, give me money the rest of my life. I was getting help in college and stuff, but I really wanted to make it on my own. I wanted to have freedom, and the job was not going to provide that for me. So I quit my job about a year in. I didn't even make it 1 year. And I just started trying a bunch of side hustles. I started a clothing company, started a content creation business. I started knocking doors in Arizona in the summer, in the heat, like 100 doors a day, trying to do wholesale and, buy homes for cash for some mentor of mine. I tried doing an ATM business, and all of these businesses failed. And I took out loans to start these businesses. And, I took out personal loans at, I think it was a $20,000 loan from Prosper. It had like 11% interest, and I couldn't pay the monthly payments. I couldn't service my debt. So through all my business failures and all those startups that I tried and failed, that led me to credit. So my biggest failure actually became my biggest opportunity. And there's a book out there. It's called The Obstacle is the Way. I would recommend you guys look that book up and go read it. But oftentimes in life, whenever you're faced with a massive challenge, you try to go around the challenge. You try to divert your energy and like distract yourself. The challenge is the answer. Oftentimes God places a challenge, or he just absolutely destroys you, because that is where the lesson is. And that's where you're going to gain the knowledge and the wisdom to then teach other people. So for me, that was credit. And in 2019, I wrecked my credit. I got under a 600 score. And, I basically had to bunker down and learn the game, or else I was going to go home and live with my mom and dad. I had already quit my job at that point. I was living off a Freedom Unlimited credit card. I had like a $5,000 credit limit, and I probably had around 1 month left of wiggle room in credit card, limits that I could use to pay for my life before I had to go home. And within that month period, I was able to remove my collection on my file from that personal loan that went to collections that I couldn't pay. And I was able to really study the credit game on YouTube, joining some mentorships, going to masterminds. And through that, I was able to devise a plan to get approved for 7 credit cards in one sequence. And within a blink of an eye, my credit was under a 600. I got it up to a 730, and I got approved for 7 credit cards, and I documented it all on Instagram. And in 2019, not many people were publicly talking about credit. And that led me to create Credit Class, which is my online community. And through that specialized knowledge and helping people for free with my content on my personal brand, people started to DM me and say they would pay me for my knowledge if I would just sit down with them, teach them. They offered, a couple $100 for an hour phone call. This is way back in the day. I didn't even have WAP or any of these like course platforms. So what I did was I took that knowledge and I was like, holy crap, maybe people will pay me for this. I'm getting a bunch of messages. My free content I'm putting out around this credit stuff is doing really well. And so I created an Instagram page called Credit Class. And that Instagram page was my business. I just made it private. And on my main profile, I would advertise it and I would say, hey guys, if you want to learn more about credit, I just created a private Instagram page called Credit Class. And all you have to do if you want to join is just DM me credit. And access is $250 right now for Black Friday. It's half off. Usually I charge $500 and people would pay me to access this information. I started a community on Telegram. I would jump on live calls with people. And that actually became a multiple six-figure business. And that allowed me to leave Scottsdale, Arizona, get out of my lease in December of 2019. I went home for the holidays. And then shortly after Christmas, I booked a one-way ticket to Bali, Indonesia. And what's crazy is right when I got there, I met my wife, Noemi, on the first day I was there. I met so many incredible people out there. And within 18 months, I was a multimillionaire of getting to Bali just through continuing to double down on my personal brand, on my businesses. And it can all change in an instant. So to answer your question, what's the best way to make money? It's your personal brand. There's absolutely no second best thing in 2025 today. I guarantee you, if any of you on here did exactly what I just did, and you just hunker down and you make a video for 30 days straight on a specialized topic, like how to go viral on Instagram. That's very valuable right now. How to do prompts for AI, right? AI prompt writing is a new skill set, and that is very desirable because AI's answers are only as good as the prompt that you give it. So imagine you made a 30-day challenge YouTube channel, right? Specialized knowledge on AI prompt writing. I guarantee if you tied an info product to that and you leave your little book a call link in the description, you can make at least $5,000 in the next 30 days, right? It's very easy, guys. Yes, it's a lot of work, but it's easy to make money now, okay? Back in the day, you had to go to the coal mine and you had to literally mine and, you couldn't even see because your eyes are filled with soot and all this crap. And today you can hunker down on the internet, you can learn something and you can sell it. So personal brand all day, bro. You've been dropping gems on YouTube. I had tapped into your videos. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. We're not stopping yet either. Look at this. The Cargo Hustler got approved for $85,000 and 0% from my content. Brother, congratulations, bro. That is incredible. I'm super happy to hear. I would love to know what you're doing with that money. It looks like you do something with cargo or vans. That's awesome. Let's see. That boy Fancy. I just got my green card, just moved to the USA, have not opened a credit account yet. So I have no history. I plan to open one. Am I still eligible for the mastermind and will I benefit from it? So yes, if you got a green card, then you have a social security number. Your social security number is your gateway to financial freedom in the United States. If any of you guys on here have a social security number, you can take full advantage of everything that I teach inside of my mastermind. And everything we teach in credit class is fully accessible to you. So I would say, brother, if you have, the capital and you have the time and, you're ready, definitely book a call. You can click the link in the description here and you can apply to work with us. But yeah, man, would love to help you, love to provide you with the perfect action plan. That way you don't slip up and make any mistakes, because in credit, one slip up could cost you a year, literally. You get 5 late payments, collections, you apply for the wrong cards in the wrong order. It sets you back so far. Whereas if you come in and you have a fresh, clean start, you're 18 or you're 25 and you just got your green card and you listen to the people that have done this and gained access to $500,000 at 0%, and you just do exactly what I say, within 1 year, you got your first round of 50K, you're traveling for free, you got all your sign-up bonuses, you're leveraging your points. This game is incredible. It's just all about the knowledge, right? And it's very confusing. You're getting offers in the mail all the time. They're trying to trip you up. They're trying to get you in debt. They're trying to trap you. All you have to do is flip the switch and take advantage of them, which is exactly what we do. So yeah, man, congrats on getting the green card. Congrats. Hope everyone's got a coffee right now. I'm currently drinking a little water because it's a little late here. It's 4:25. I would not be able to sleep if I had a coffee, but thought it sounded good in the title. I'm from Mexico, and your videos got me curious as to how I can play the system that way here. Said F it and got my first Amex this week. I love it, bro. Let's go. I love when people take action just from watching a video. So good. So yeah, guys, anyone that's watching here from anywhere outside the USA, Amex is pretty worldwide. They don't offer 0%, right? The only country that gives you 0% on business cards is the USA. But that's not to say you guys shouldn't be using credit cards. I would absolutely still be using cards if you're outside the USA because you're going to get points. You're going to get purchase protection. Okay. Why would I use a debit card when, imagine if someone steals my wallet and they use the debit card at Chanel and it's going to take that money directly out of my checking account. I just paid for that bag and it's very hard for me to get the money back. But if someone stole my purse or my wallet and they go in, they buy the Chanel with one of my credit cards, all I have to do is just call the bank and say, hey, my wallet was stolen. That was not me. Okay. Please dispute that charge, right? The money was spent on the bank, not my money. Debit card is your money. Credit card's the bank's money. I always spend the bank's money before I ever spend mine. I don't spend my money. My money is in my Bitcoin. My money's in my investment accounts. My money's growing and compounding. I just use the banks for everything. Okay. And ideally you use 0% cards, right? You have $100,000 at 0%. I'm spending all that money on all my business expenses. I'm paying my employees. I'm ordering equipment. I'm getting new office upgrades. No money's ever leaving my bank account. I'm just using the banks. The bank is my bank account, right? 100K can last me the whole year. I'm good on my low expense businesses. Credit class, this costs me nothing. Right. So the bank funds everything for me. And then I just pay them back before the interest rate is up. So that's the concept, bro. Can you do that in Mexico? Can you do that in Spain? Not necessarily. You only have 30 days to float, but at least you're spending their money and then you just pay the card off with your own money. So that's the idea. Use it for purchase protection. Okay. And yeah, that's about it. But bro, good shit. Awesome that you already got a card from Mexico. I love it. Trying to see how I can leverage credit to grow my small business. Yeah, man, just spend the bank's money over your own every day and then use it for points as well, right? Because if you're going to spend money for your business already, imagine if this is a debit card and you're spending 10K a month on this thing and it's just your money going to expenses. You have no purchase protection, no points. Why wouldn't we just use a credit card when we're getting paid points that allows us to travel the world for free? So I know in Mexico, I think you get 1 point per dollar spent. It's not as significant as the US, whereas in the US, it's like 4X, sometimes 5 or more, but it's still better than nothing. So Amex is pretty worldwide. I would definitely check them out. Cool. What else? I have a question. I want to get a Shelf Corp from Wyoming Shelf Corp online because it has years of history. But do banks still want 2 years to get business funding? Yeah. So this whole Shelf Corp thing is very misunderstood. The reason why I don't do this Shelf Corp corporate banking strategy is because it takes a lot of time. Okay. You cannot just buy a Shelf Corp and get funding on it. That's not how it works. Usually people sell these Shelf Corps and it's like a dumpster fire. There's a bunch of problems wrong with it. The taxes haven't been filed on these entities in years, or the reason they shut it down is because it went bankrupt or something like that, right? Yes, there's going to be history, but you are looking for trade lines on that account, right? If you buy a Shelf Corp, it better have a bunch of trade lines, right? Primary accounts on the credit side on the credit profile. And then maybe you can get approvals at Chase and Amex and all those things. But if you buy a shelf corp and it has no outstanding credit history and no trade lines active on Paydex and Dun and Bradstreet, you're screwed. There's nothing to do. You just spent $3,000 for nothing. Okay. You're still going to have to personal guarantee all of the debt and all the credit that you get when you apply on that shelf corp. That is why I just use an LLC. I apply and I put my social security in, and I'm responsible with the business debt. The only way that business debt is going to fall on my personal credit profile is if I default. I'm not going to default at this stage of my life. Okay. And even if you do default, you have options, right? You can use the Fair Credit Reporting Act and you can remove things off your credit report. If you get a collection and that falls on your personal credit file, you can get anything removed. If they cannot prove it by law, they must remove it. So I'd still rather use a business credit card that is tied to my personal guaranteed than just use my own money, right? Because if I lose my own money, it's gone. If I lose the bank's money and it goes on my personal credit, I have options. I have protection. I have credit repair. It's not taking money out of my bank account, right? You want to always factor in the risk and the reward. The risk with using our own capital is most of the time, 90%, not worth it. I'd rather take massive risk with other people's money and lose theirs. Okay. Let's see. Does a green card give a credit check? What do you mean by that? Like an Amex green card? Or are you talking like an actual green card to get in the country? Let me know, Jab. Not sure I understand the question. Can I apply for a good credit card to invest with my LLC? Just opened 60 days ago, 713 score. Okay. Here's the thing about scores. You guys are getting way too jaded with these credit scores. Okay. Credit score does not matter, right? If I say I have an 800 score, right? Let's just say I have an 800. Okay. I have an 800 score. Are you going to approve me, Chase? Like, give me the best card right now. Or you go to Amex and you're like, give me the Amex Platinum. I have an 800 score. I'm going to apply. They don't care about this. This means nothing. Why? Because the score could be so good with only one account on your credit profile. You could literally have your mom or dad add you as an authorized user and you get an 800 score at 17 years old. But then you go to Chase or you go to Capital One or you go to Amex and you apply for their best card and you get denied. And you're like, why? I have a good credit score. It's because your file doesn't have enough credit history and it doesn't have enough age and it has no weight to it. Okay. You just have one AU, one account, right? Even if you have one credit card and you pay it off on time, you'll have an 800 score, but you're not getting approved for a Chase Sapphire Reserve. You have to build up trade lines, right? There's something called credit optimization. And a lot of you guys have to realize that none of you are going to get approved for these business cards I'm talking about, like the Chase Business Inc., unless you optimize your personal credit file first. This is the thing no one wants to do because no one wants to wait. No one has patience. No one wants to take action, right? It's very tedious and it's step by step. We have to look presentable to the banks when we apply, right? Would you trust your friend with $10,000? If your best friend came to you and asked for a loan for $10,000, you've never lent him money before, would you say yes? No. You would much rather build up that trust, right? Let's say he asked for $500. I'll lend my best friend $500, no problem, right? And then he gives it back. Maybe he pays me a little interest. 2 years later, he asked for $1,000. I say yes, does it again, pays me back with interest. Finally, he asked for 10 grand after a couple of years of me lending him money and him paying me back. I say, no problem, bro. I trust you. If you go to Chase Bank with zero credit profile and you have no good cards, no comparable credit, no high credit limits with other banks, and you ask for the best card, they're not giving it to you. This is why credit score does not matter. Credit file matters. What is under the hood of your 800 score? Right? That's why I don't ask when you guys book my credit discovery calls and you click the link in my bio. I don't care about your credit score. I ask you very specific questions about what's inside your credit. How many personal accounts do you have? How many trade lines are there? Are they primaries? Are they AUs? What's your credit mix? Do you have loans? Do you have personal loans, student loans, car loans? Do you have a mortgage? That's all very important. That's very helpful. The more accounts, the better. The more debt, the better your score. Okay, that's another thing most people don't understand. They're like, don't use debt. Debt is bad. Why would you open up more credit cards than you need? Why do you guys think I have 30 active credit cards? Because the more cards I get, the better score I get, the more money they give me, right? And that's just one stack. This is my business stack right here. So business, personal. I think I went on a tangent there. I don't even know what the question was, but oh yeah, it was about score. Yeah, so you have to optimize. I made a video on this. Go check out the video, how to optimize your personal credit file, and do all of that and never apply for a business card until that step is done. Okay, and then you'll get approved. Hi, I'm based in the UK and I love your content. I just wanted to know, can I access USA credit cards despite being based in the UK? The best answer to that is go get married or get a work visa and get a social security number. Okay. Social security number is the only thing that's going to give you access to all the cards I talk about in all my videos. You can get an LLC, you can get a business address, you can get an EIN. That's what all these international people are doing. And they're like, no, bro, you don't understand. I got my ITIN number and I got my business and we have an address. I can get all the cards you're talking about. It's all good. I'm like, no, you cannot. Like, you can't. You have to build up your business credit profile without a personal guarantee. And that takes years. You have to imagine entities, right? I'm an entity, you're an entity. In the USA, we are businesses. Like, my social security number is a business entity. I am just a number to the government. Okay. So we all have our numbers, right? If you only have a business number, not a personal number, that's way more liability on them. Why would they give you money to a business that you could dissolve and bankrupt? And then there's nowhere for that debt to fall on. It just falls back on the bank. Whereas with me, I have to pledge my entity number, my social security number with the bank when I apply for business credit. So if my business credit cards default, they throw it right on my personal entity. And now my personal is liable for it. And then they can come after, they can come after my wages, right? They can come after my mortgage. They can come after my assets. Okay. That's their protection. Okay. They can put liens on you. And that is why they want a personal guarantee. Okay. So you cannot get these cards unless you have a personal guarantee, or if you're willing to build your business credit from scratch with trade lines on a corporate credit file. Okay. So I would recommend, if you guys want personal credit in the USA, you want all these cool cards and you want to travel the world and get 0% access and do all this cool stuff. Unfortunately, the USA is really the only country in the world that gives us debt like this. Like, it's amazing if you know how to leverage it, or you can get trapped like a slave, like 90% of US society is. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Teach you guys to not do that. Okay. Okay, let's see. Guys, great questions, by the way. Keep it up. We got 25 people in here. We had 30 a second ago. First live ever. How we doing? Let me get a W in the chat if we're doing good here. I'm 19 years old. Congratulations, bro. You're freaking 19 and you're watching videos like this. Like, at 19 years old, I was so lost in the sauce. I didn't even know what a credit card was. I have a 689 score. I had a 784, but it dropped. I have a couple credit cards open around 18K in combined limits at 19, bro. You're on one. No late payments, nor derogatories. Just want to know your opinion. My opinion is you probably have a high balance on those credit cards, and that's why your score is at a 689. There's no other reason. If you don't have any negative items like late payments, collections, derogatories, then the only reason your score is at a 689 is because payment history makes up 35% of your credit score, and utilization makes up 30%. So right there, if you guys can just tackle paying your cards on time, pay it before the statement date, that's 35% of your score right there. And then utilization, never leave balances on your card, right? And that's 65% of your entire credit score taken care of. Most people, they miss payments and they leave balances. You're screwed. That's why you have a 500. That's why you have under a 700. Everyone in here can have a 700 score just by literally getting one credit card, putting it on auto pay, paying it off 3 days before the statement is due, and keeping no balance on the card. You can use your card all you want. I use all my credit cards. I put massive amounts of money on there, 20K, 30K, doesn't matter. And then I just pay them off every week. It's like a habit for me. I just look at the app, I pay it off. Look at the app, pay it off. Right. And so when I go on Credit Karma, or not Credit Karma, I don't use that. You want to look at your FICO score. That's Identity IQ. Will give you every bureau. It'll give you Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Go on Identity IQ, pay for the credit monitoring service. It's like $20 a month. And whenever you're curious, go look at your credit report, and it should always show a zero balance for all of your credit cards. Okay. So that's my advice to you, bro. Carlos Leon, 19-year-old, bro. You're crushing it, by the way. But yeah, just pay your cards off, dude. You'll have over 700, and start with Chase. Watch my videos. Keep it up with Chase. Do not get distracted right now. Don't go to all these crappy tier 2 and tier 3 banks, because Chase has the 5 and 24 rule, which states if you have more than 5 open credit accounts or personal accounts altogether, it could be things outside of credit cards. If you have 5 or more in the past 24 months, you will never get approved for a Chase card. Okay. It's a hard rule. So that's why for the first 5 accounts, I want all Chase cards. I take care of Chase, and then my personal file is optimized forever. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to do anything with it. I can just continuously fund business accounts at 0%. Okay. Champ says, Colin, can you please kiss the camera? I appreciate you, brother, but I'm not going to do that. Do you think Bitcoin is at a good DCA opportunity right now? I think that everyone should just dollar cost average in Bitcoin and not look at it, because if you're looking at a 10, 20-year time horizon, 100K versus 80K versus 60K versus 120K is not going to matter when it's at $1 million. So just think about it like that. Set it and forget it. Dollar cost average, saving the Bitcoin like a savings account, and that's it. Right? You can also mine Bitcoin. You can buy miners every year. You get a tax write-off. That's what I do. I don't buy physical Bitcoin anymore because it's not worth it for me. Right? I'm making a lot of money in my businesses. I need to offset that income. So I offset it by buying mining machines, which qualify for Section 179. I get 100% bonus depreciation in year 1, plus all the other business expenses are written off in full. So if I buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, I get $100,000 write-off, and I get all that Bitcoin back over 4 years in my offline wallet, no KYC, no BS. Right? So that's why I mine over buy. Okay. You guys can reach out to me if you're interested in mining Bitcoin as well. Hey, Colin, thoughts on the price of crypto overall markets and this Iran stuff? Bitcoin currently at 98K. Good time to buy. Yeah. I mean, look, it's hard to say what's going to happen with war. Okay. Long term, I'm a Bitcoin investor. I'm a Bitcoin holder. I have a stack of Bitcoin that I'll never sell. And so I think that's the best way to go about it. It's just like, yeah, things are volatile in the short term, but overall, if you're a long-term believer in anything, whether it be stocks, whether it be Bitcoin, it's just dollar cost average. Buy more on the dips. Don't freak out, right? You should just have set, forget, and just keep sticking to the plan. How do you get this knowledge? I studied, bro, as Belmar would say. No. So, I mean, dude, it's just a lot of failure. I failed more times than most people in this chat right now. I think I just took a lot more risk, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I fell on my face a whole lot in my life. And through failing so many times, I just keep getting up. I never quit, and I just learn, and I just keep going. I'm self-taught in really everything I've done. Of course, I've paid for mentorships. Of course, people have given me ideas, but I just go down deeper paths on those ideas I've been given. And I also love what I do. I think that is very important. Like, to get really far in this game, you can get to 100K a month not liking what you do, but to really blow past that and, make millions and millions of dollars a year consistently for 10 years, you most likely have to have passion. And so whatever you do in life, I think you can make money to start, but it gets to a point where it's like, you probably want to figure out what makes you tick and then align that with making money in some way. And for me, freedom, it always made me happy. And so entrepreneurship is the path of freedom, of being able to, make my own individual choices and not have to abide by anyone besides God, but, no boss. And so, yeah, I think kind of aligning your values with a path that makes you money is going to be the happiest path forward. Um, have you found a way to pay employee salaries on a credit card without paying 3 to 4% in fees? That's a good question. So, no. Plastique, I know you can use credit card to pay expenses, but they do take a fee. Um, you could liquidate a 0% credit card, a business one, because you don't want to ever leave a balance on a personal card at 0% because it's going to wreck your credit score. You can absolutely liquidate cards with zero cost. I teach you guys how to do this in credit class, and you could then wire that money to a bank account and pay your employees that way. So it is possible. Best advice for youngsters with low credit history but perfect score. Build the history, bro. Get more age, get more accounts, get a good credit mix going. Like, people always pay off all their student loans, and it drives me crazy. Like, some people have like 10 individual small student loans, like for 3K, 5K, 4K. Those are so good for your credit profile. Like, the more accounts, the better. And the more loans, the wider credit mix, the more credibility, the more trustworthiness you have with lenders. So for me, I paid off my loans before I really knew much about credit. And the loan payments were only like $200 a month. It wasn't a big deal, very low interest. I should have kept them open, because looking back now, it would have added to my credit mix and my overall age, because those loans were started like 10 years ago. So yeah, let's go. Congrats on the 30 days. Yo, I appreciate it, Parker. Green card as in citizenship. Yeah. So if you get a green card, and I know this because my wife got one, if you get a green card, you get a social security number. And once you have a social, you can apply for any cards. I got Noemi a Business Inc. Unlimited, and she's starting her new business with it. She funded her new business without her own money. Okay. I taught her the exact thing that I'm doing and all my students do. I got approved for every Amex, but don't want to spend the annual fee. You got to pay to play, brother. If you guys are afraid of annual fees, you are never going to be successful. I'll just say that. Okay. You have to pay and spend money to make money. Okay. And by the way, that little annual fee of $500 is paid for like 5 times over with the benefits that you get. The TSA pre-check, the global entry, the lounge access, the point redemptions, all of that stuff trumps what you're paying. Okay. So don't look at the cost, look at the opportunity of the cost. What is the opportunity cost? Not what's the cost. That's low level thinking. Okay. I have a call scheduled tomorrow. I should open up a Chase bank account and open my first credit card with them. I currently bank with the Bank of America. Are they better for first credit accounts? Yeah. So we'll talk, brother. But I mean, just from what you've learned in my videos, you can obviously kind of take away a lot and start devising a plan, even if you're not in credit class, my private community. I would say, sorry, I just ate a bunch of food right before this. I would say Chase is the best bank to have a home base at, right? Like, I'm going to Chase tomorrow. I'm setting up my 10th business account with them. I have every single account with them. I also have Bank of America. I have Wells Fargo. I have all the other banks, but I have like 10 plus accounts at Chase. They are the best by far. And I also love having my accounts like all with them, because I can just transfer money from one account to the other. I have a bunch of tax shelter vehicles that I use, and I have to like funnel money, and it would be very annoying to like take it from Chase and then wire it to Bank of America and then wire it back to Chase because my other business shelters there. Like, it just, for me, having a lot of things at Chase makes a lot of sense. But of course, I still have, for optimization purposes, bank accounts with Bank of America, because when I get my business cards with them, if I didn't have those bank accounts, I wouldn't get approved for as much money. So you kind of just have to take track. You have to like track all of these. And I also have a cool tracking thing here. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Let me see if I can share my screen. Oh yeah, I can. Cool. All right. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm going to show you this little tracking app called Wallet Flow in a sec. Let me just sign in here. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Because once you guys start getting a lot of credit cards, it can get pretty annoying and tedious. So it's very important that you guys have softwares that allow you to. These are like some of my cards. I haven't entered all of them in, but it's called Wallet Flow. And it's pretty dope. Like I can see, all my cheat sheet right here. So like if I'm like wondering what cards to put in my wallet, let's say I'm going to Spain soon, right? So I'm going to be optimizing for luxury dining, a lot of like beach clubs, stuff like that. Like what card do I bring for this trip? Well, definitely going to bring my Marriott, right? Because I'll probably be staying in some Marriotts. I'm going to get a lot of points that way. I get 3x on airfare. I get 3x on travel with the Amex Green Card. That's good to know. 2x on all purchases on my Blue Plus. Let's see though. Maybe there's a better card. The drugstores, right? If I go to CVS or I go shopping, maybe I want to, bring my Freedom Card because I get that. 4x on business advertising with the gold. Okay. Look at this. Rent payments, 1x. Okay. Capital One, travel, 5x points, 10x points with rental cars. If I rent a car, I want to have my Capital One there, right? I wouldn't have known that if I didn't have this thing. Okay. But yeah, it's really cool. It tracks all your cards. It shows you, look, if I want to see what gives me the best points on Lyft, I click here. I get 5x points on Lyft with my Sapphire Reserve. So I'm gonna hook that up to my Lyft, So that's a really cool app. Little value there for you. What else we got? Oh, I think my dog just pissed again on the floor. Oh shit, you guys didn't see that? Damn. Hold up. Let me see if I can do that again. Why didn't that work? Oh, let me know if you can see this. Yeah, there we go. All right. Damn. Here we go again. Okay, check it out, guys, real quick. So right here, I have my wallet, right? I upload every single card here. So I can see like my payment dates. I can see every single card I have in my wallet. And then there's a cheat sheet. So it shows me what I earn on for each category, right? So if I'm going to dinner for personal use, I want to bring my green card because I get 3x points. Now, if I want to go search like what to use for Lyft, I could click Lyft, right? And it'll show me all these cards give me 5x. So I'm going to bring that. For car rentals, I want to bring my AA Advantage card because I get 2x, right? For advertising, the gold gives me 4x. So it's just a really cool like software to organize. You guys see it, right? All right, cool. So yeah, that's that. Let's keep it going. Thanks for your videos. I was able to get $25,000 in my new business Inc. And I transfer my limit, 75K unlimited Inc. to this new account. So currently 100K reset, $0 for 12 months. Look at that, bro. Ivan just freaking ran up a bag for free. I love it. Ivan, that's so killer. Ivan literally just got $100,000 at 0% for a year just from watching a video. I got approved for a card with no limit that I can use anywhere for anything. There's no incentive for me to work hard for anything or build a meaningful business anymore. Oh, bro. Geo. So, Geo, I need that credit card link, bro. It comes with an unlimited bank account. Please share the value with the people, bro. Where do we get this unlimited money printer card from? So it seems to me like you don't understand how credit works. You can get a credit card, right? If you're not used to having, more than like $5,000 at your disposal, which is like 99% of the world, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I used to be like that too. 5K 7 years ago for me was like, I'm rich. Like I can do anything. Let's go travel. Let's go to Thailand. Like we're good. If you get a credit card and your mindset is like that and you're not used to having money, that is the problem. Like what Gio said is what 99.9% of the world does when they get access to a card. They're not used to having money. They get a card. The bank gives them $2,000 on a credit limit. And then they buy a chocolate bar at the store and it works. And they're like, wait, this isn't coming out of my money. and then they just go on a rampage, and then they don't pay it off, and then that card hits collections, and then their credit tanks. And then it comes time to get a job, and they get a job, and then they get a family, and then they have kids, and they try to get in this decent home, but their credit's at a 480, and they are paying, a 10% mortgage rate now because they can't get in because their credit's so shot. Then they try to get a car and they get the worst car payment. They literally end up paying for 4 cars for the price of one because their interest rate is so high, all from that one little card. So, Gio, brother, I beg you to rethink what you're about to do and just go spend a bunch of money on that card. You do have to pay it back, bro. You do have to pay it back. Or you have to have the knowledge to know how to get it off, which you probably don't have. So, wish you the best of luck, bro. Use these videos to help you. Do not use them to destroy you. Could I get $20,000 on a business LLC, or is that too risky to a bank? Yeah, you can absolutely get brother. I have $500,000 between all of these Chase Inc. cards. Okay. There's over 12 of them, all the same cards. So yeah, 20K is like a starter limit. That's easy. What I would do is I would follow my business credit sequence guide. I have one called How to Get it's How to Legally Steal $100,000 from the banks. Go watch that video. It'll help you immensely. I appreciate all the W's, guys. My utilization was at 81%. My score was at a 650. I just paid it all off. I want to get a house at the beginning of next month. How long does it take to reflect my credit score? Easy, bro. Super easy way to find out is just go on your credit app and look at the statement date. Okay. Statement date's usually on like the 28th or the 30th or whatever. It's going to report like 3 to 5 days after that statement is done. And if you want to check right now, you can buy a credit report at any time, and it's going to pull the most current data. When you purchase a report, you can go on Identity IQ, My Score IQ, any of those websites where you actually purchase the report is going to show you your real live FICO score. So yeah, you should be good by next month, bro. But do not apply until you know for a fact that it's been updated and you're at a 0 balance and your credit score is up. Or else you're just going to waste an inquiry. You can get denied and you're not going to get in the house. If I charge off Amex accounts, even if I dispute those accounts off my credit report, I heard they keep an internal blacklist. Is there a proper way to get it off other than paying? Yeah, 100%. So every single bank has an internal database of what's going on. Like even if I remove, let's say I take out this Business Inc. with Chase, right? They give me $50,000. I don't pay it. It goes into collections. It goes in my personal credit report. I get the collection removed with credit repair because of my protection and because I understand the Fair Credit Dispute Act. I can get it removed, no problem. And no other lender and no other bank, when they pull my credit, will ever see a Chase card was there. The only problem is Chase knows it's there because they can see everything internally that I did with them. So when I go and apply with Chase again, I'll be denied for the rest of my life. I just sacrificed my Chase banking relationship for the rest of my life by not paying them back, right? So if you care about tier 1 banks, which you absolutely should, never ruin a banking relationship with US Bank, Wells Fargo, Citibank, Chase Bank, Bank of America. Those 5, do not, Amex, do not mess with them. If you want to do Capital One and Discover, go ahead. Who cares, right? They suck. They're not going to give you a lot of value. I'm not saying to default on them, but if you are in a situation where you need to protect yourself against those 2 little banks and not Chase. If you screw Chase, you screw yourself for the rest of your life. Okay. You want Jamie Dimon on your side. You want to have access to the money printer. Okay. What is your main business, Colin Yergeson, and how much did you generate this year? This year, in the past 6 months, I'm not going to say, but my main business right now, my main focus is this and leverage mining, my Bitcoin mining company. Last year, I will tell you, my leverage mining company did $2.3 million in revenue in 2024. But yeah, That's about it. This and leverage mining are my main businesses. What's been the smallest change you've done that has had the biggest impact? That's a great question, bro. I like the way you worded that. Smallest change that I've done that's had the biggest impact. Are we talking credit related or just life related? I would say reading the Bible, bro. Building a personal relationship with Jesus Christ is the smallest little change I tweaked in my life over the past year and a half that has completely changed my life in ways that I can't even describe. On a credit related basis, I would say just paying off my cards, dude. Like just paying off your cards and having your balances at zero before the statement date every single month. Like I said, that's 30% of your score. Your payment history is 35% and your utilization is 30%. That's 65% of what makes up your credit score is just paying it off on time and having zero balance. That's it. And you guys can have 700 pluses all day long. So that's what I would say. Keep your stuff on auto pay. Pay 3 to 5 days before the statement date. That's my piece of advice. Guys, we're 50 minutes strong right now. I'm loving it, though. We got a lot more questions, so I'm going to keep running. I'm going to keep ripping for you guys. Okay. What's the best credit card for a beginner? No history, fresh off the boat. I love it, AZ. Fresh off the boat, bro. You're going to walk your butt right in the chase, and you're going to get yourself a Freedom Unlimited. But first, follow my credit guide. There's a free video. I literally teach anyone that comes off the boat, gets their Social Security. You're fresh off. You got $0 to your name. You will literally be able to have access to $50,000 at 0% within 1 year's time. Actually, 9 months. If you do everything verbatim, exactly how I tell you, it's a 9-month timeline. You have a personal credit file optimized. You have over 700 score, and you got 50K and 0% money for your business. Like I gave you guys the blueprint for free, and people are going to blow right past it and not use it. So it's all about just taking action at this point. All the information's out there. All of you guys can get rich. You just have to do it. But anyway, yeah, bro, that's what I would say. Get an authorized user. That's step number one. The biggest hack in credit as a beginner is getting added as an authorized user right away. If anyone in your family is willing to do that for you, and you can assure them by like writing some little contract or doing a favor for them, telling them that they can cut their credit card in half when they receive it in the mail, you just want to inherit their history for a few months so you can apply for that first Freedom card at Chase. That's what you do. Does Chase do hard inquiry if you want to increase your credit limit on a card? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Guys, use ChatGPT for this kind of stuff, right? If you're ever wondering if you want to get a credit limit increase or you want to apply for another card, just look up on ChatGPT, does XYZ bank pull a hard pull or a soft pull? If you want to verify, you could literally call the number on the back of your card and you say, hey, I'm looking to do a credit limit increase. I was wondering, do you guys pull hard inquiries for a credit limit increase? Most of the time they will say either yes or no. Chase, they do. So here's the rule. If you guys ever want more credit limits, I would much rather have you, if they're going to pull a hard inquiry, I would much rather have you apply for a brand new card because it gives us way more value, right? Why get just an extra 15K on the same card when I already got the sign-up bonus and I already maxed out the points for the year, when I can get another 15K on another card that's going to give me a 100,000 point sign-up bonus and a fresh amount of points, 2x on my first 50K spent for the year, right? Always extract value as much as possible. All right, let's go. Slygy. I don't know how to pronounce it. Hi, Colin. I'm 20 and I got a 790 credit score. Some of you guys are so ahead of the game. It's crazy. How would I go about getting a duplex or more house hack in Florida using credit? I have no knowledge on this. Brother, you're already thinking house hack and you already have a 790 score at 20 years old. You are about to be a millionaire in your 20s, my friend, with that mindset. What I would do for anyone in here that wants to start building equity and start getting real estate, you want a house hack. Okay. House hack means you get an FHA loan, right? It's a first home buyer mortgage. And what you can do is you can have your mom or dad co-sign for you. Because if you want a first-time home buyer loan, you're going to need 2 years of tax returns. Most people fresh out of college do not have that. So if you're 20 years old, you're going to have a family member co-sign for you. If you're in a good relationship with your parents, they will do it. You're going to make all the payments. They're just going to sign. My dad did it for me when I was 23, and I got my first $500,000 crib in Philadelphia. I lived on the third floor. It was a 4-bedroom home. You want more bedrooms, the more the better, because you can have multiple tenants that are paying your mortgage for you. And whatever's left over is cash flow. So for me, I just launched my business credit class. I just got back from Bali. I wanted to keep traveling. There was a first-time home buyer mortgage opportunity in Philly on a brand new build. It was a 10-year tax abatement, which means I didn't have to pay tax on anything but the land for the first 10 years, which was insane tax savings. I got in with like 3.5% down, like literally down payment money. And I used 0% credit. I liquidated some. I put down like, I think like 12K. I used the rest of that credit card to furnish the home. I had 3 tenants. They all paid, anywhere between $750 to $1,000. My mortgage was like $1,900 a month. And I was getting paid in total $2,700. So I lived for free. I built equity. And I was never there. I just traveled and they paid my mortgage and I cash flowed. And then I just sold that house recently because Philly's a shithole and I don't like having real estate in blue states. Just a lot of problems, a lot of tenant problems. I've had problems with every tenant every single year. So I just got out of it. I made like 60 grand. Like 2 months ago, I sold it, just got a wire. So yeah, free house from the banks, paid for in full. I cash flowed about $1,000 a month for the past 4 years, and I just sold it and made a lot of money. So, dude, house hack, get in a duplex, get as many roommates as possible, and just sacrifice, right? It's not supposed to be fun at first, but if you do it the right way, you're going to build so much equity. Sacrifice the short-term pleasure of the penthouse in Miami until you actually have a bunch of money, and then go get it when you don't even feel it. Let's see. Will seasoning accounts fix small Chase overdraft history? No. So if you have late payments, you're going to have to try to get them removed. You can call in. Guys, here's a tip. Chase and other big banks, if you've had one missed payment in your life, they'll waive it as a courtesy. Okay. So if you've only had 1 or 2, you can call in, be super nice, get a representative that's respecting you. Hang up and call again if you're not getting the right people, and politely ask if, as a courtesy for your first time offense, if they will remove that late payment for you. Most of the time they will. Do authorized users count as 5 and 24? No, they do not. Colin dropped a bomb for free on YouTube. Yes, sir. What's up, Nolan? Hey, Colin, when do you think the next crypto bull market will start? I think we're still in one. I think it'll go until like Q4, but I think the summer's going to be really bad. I got approved for a card with no limit that I can use anywhere and for anything. There's no incentive for me to work. Oh, these are the same questions now. Okay. I'm not sure if I understand clearly what an authorized user is. Can you explain what it is, how it works? And I don't have someone I can use as an authorized user is a huge setback. Yeah, so an authorized user is somebody else's primary credit card. So let's say your Aunt Susie, right? She's got a Freedom Unlimited, okay? Aunt Susie's got this card. She's had it open since 2008, right? She's got 20 years, almost 20 years of history on this thing. Now, little Jeremy just got to he just turned 18 years old, right? Now he can get credit cards. Only problem is Jeremy's got no history. No banks want to give a little 18-year-old money. So what you can do is you can call up Aunt Sally and you could say, hey, Aunt Sally, I want to build my credit. I know you're a beast with credit and you've been doing this for a long time. Can you please add me as an authorized user? And I just want to get your history so that way I can apply for my first credit card at Chase, not like an idiot, and apply for the Discover It like all my friends are doing, right? So basically Sally will call the bank and she'll get you added as an AU. They'll send the credit card to her house and you're going to tell her to just cut the credit card in half with a pair of scissors. Okay. That way you can't spend Sally's money, but that history is now reporting on your personal credit. So it's not your account. You don't own it. It's not a primary account. It's an AU. You're an authorized user of someone's primary account. You're inheriting history. You get her age, you get her credit limit, and you get her payment history, but it's not your account. You can't control it. I hope that helps. What's good, Tyler? For that Navy federal loan thing, does the size of the loan matter? If you pay down $100,000 loan, does it look better than, say, a $10,000 loan? Of course it does. Of course it does. The installment amount always matters. A $5,000 installment is not going to do as much. So yeah, limits matter. Overall credit limits matter. So age is the most important thing on those installment loans, though. I have Amex Gold card with 735 already pre-approved for Amex Biz Gold. What should I do? Okay, so you have an Amex personal gold. You're already pre-approved for a business gold. Yeah, go get the business gold. But ask yourself, do you need another gold? Right? The benefits aren't that much different. For me, I canceled my personal gold when I got my business gold. Or I downgraded it. Always downgrade cards, never cancel. Because if you cancel, you lose the history. You can just call the number on the back and say, hey, I don't use this card anymore. Can you please downgrade it to a card that doesn't have an annual fee? You'll keep the same account history. They send you a brand new card in the mail. That's a downgraded product. It's a lower product level. Also, what helped you quit your negative self-talk? I know you mentioned made a rule to never say anything negative to yourself anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's just personal development. I would say build a relationship with Jesus. That is the ultimate key. That will get rid of all your anxiety. The light stream strategy is only for business, or can it be for personal? No, light stream is personal loan. It is not a business loan. All light stream loans are personal. Took your advice and got the CSP and then Freedom Unlimited, 10K limit on the Freedom, going on the Flex next. Then your thoughts. I'm thinking Chase Marriott. Thanks. Guys, I love how many people are actually changing their lives for free. It's pretty freaking cool that people are literally taking action on these videos and they're not just watching it and doing nothing. So, Grant, congratulations. There's a couple guys on here that literally said they got a ton of money. This guy got $100,000 at 0%. That's awesome. But yeah, bro, look, you got a 10K on the Freedom, which is incredible. So you have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you got the Freedom Unlimited. I mean, dude, yeah, I would get the Marriott, but it's not a Chase Marriott. I have an Amex Marriott. You want to get the Amex one. It's so much better. The Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, because it comes with status. As long as you hold the card, you have platinum status, which is like unbelievable. You get free hotel suite upgrades. You get free breakfast everywhere you go, late checkout. So yeah, I think you're good at Chase, man. Like, if you want a United card, go ahead, but you got a good 10K limit on there. I don't know what your Sapphire reserve limit is or your preferred, but honestly, like, I would rather have a higher limit on the Sapphire Preferred than the Freedom. So you could just call in and just swap it over, because you're probably going to use the Sapphire Preferred a lot more. My buddy's Champ's calling me. Have to answer in a sec. Cool. Let's see. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to go to church. I didn't realize it's been an hour already. This has been awesome, though. Guys, we did 30 videos in 30 days. We gained almost 5,000 subscribers in 30 days. We have over 100,000 views, and there was over 25 people that joined credit class. So just want to say I really appreciate all you guys. And I keep saying thank you, God, for bringing me back to this, because I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So super grateful for this opportunity, super grateful to teach, and I'm definitely not done yet. So don't think because we just did 30 videos, I'm never showing up again. We're going to continue to make videos. We're going to continue to go live all the time, and we're going to continue to make this the best credit community in the world. So I'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing Sunday. God bless.